Hello and welcome back to the Movies Made Us Do It. Me and Matt are back. How are you, Matt?
I'm pretty good, sir. How are you?
I am well. Interested to talk about this movie. We're working our way through 1975 because it's
Yeah.
25 this year, so it kind
Mhm.
of makes sense. I'd completely forgotten this movie takes place in 2024.
Yeah, I
we
did as
could we
well.
could have watched it last year, but it's
Yeah.
fine.
When it when
Um,
it when, the, when it came up, I was like, oh, okay.
yeah, that was weird, right? I was like, well, that was
It's,
close.
it's weird though because I no one sort of brought it up last year. You'd have thought people would
Mm.
have, even remembered or tried to say, hey, do you know that this happens this year? We're all dead, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
But
it feels like an internet meme that should have happened, but I kind of put that down to a lot of people don't know about this movie or haven't
yeah,
watched it or think they've watched it.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I
this
mean,
go on.
one of my favourites of those that sort of thing was the one for um, people going, "Hey, this is the year that the moon drifts off, and
Space
we lose,
1999.
yeah, we lose the moon and stuff." I remember that vividly. That was one of the really big ones. And of course, Back to the Future. There's lots
Oh,
of people going, this
oh,
is
Back to the Future, they kept getting the date wrong, which was the funny thing with
yeah,
that. It was like
yeah,
every year for years they kept doing it. And it's like, for fuck's sake, guys, just watch the movie. They always fall for it. Like some asshole would just change the date
yeah,
on the clock on the picture and send it, put it online, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's the year!" I'm like, "You did this for the last 3 years. Where
yeah.
just watch the movie."
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a weird one. I mean, I think this is the lesser watched of the movies, but
Oh, yeah,
A
yeah.
Boy and His Dog, the movie of today, and Mad Max 2 pretty much
Hmm.
inspired all of the post-apocalyptic stuff
Yeah,
to a large
yeah,
extent. Certainly the pop culture stuff.
yeah,
Fallout, the Fallout series, the first Fallout game, very
yeah,
inspired by A Boy and His Dog. Probably more so than Mad Max 2.
yeah.
Um, but a little mix of both.
I mean, even the Book of Eli
Oh
um,
yeah,
has got the poster for the movie in one of the buildings
it
that
does.
it goes
Book of
through. So
Eli's an underrated movie. Actually, I
yeah,
enjoy that movie.
and there were times where I didn't twig.
Mm.
My wife did, and I didn't, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's so obvious! It's completely obvious." And I did not, I didn't. Twig. And my wife was like, "Yeah, I noticed as soon as he bumped into the body hanging there at the beginning." I'm like, ah, damn, I was a real dumbass on that one.
Do you know? I honestly don't remember if I caught the twist or not. That's a good point.
Yeah, I think I probably would have got it later, maybe when they
Yeah.
were, with when they're using the bow and stuff. But yeah, no, my wife was like, "Oh yeah, no, I got it then." It's like, oh shit.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, but yep, Book of Eli. I mean, most of these post-apocalyptic movies kind of take after this.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, I mean, the more kind of campy stuff anyway.
Yeah, it's
Um,
it's
not not
basically
not not, not suggesting Threads took anything from The Boy and His Dog.
no, but
Um,
sort of the desert wasteland and
yes,
you know, isolated communities of survivors and that all
Mad
all
Max,
that
you've got
stuff.
the leathers and stuff that
Yeah,
inspires a lot of the post-apocalyptic stuff. This one
yeah,
has the weird stuff, which is where I think Fallout delves a lot deeper into the Fallout game series and now TV series.
yeah,
That weirdness. This movie's got all of that weirdness. Now, obviously, it's not set in because Fallout is like the 50s future.
yeah.
This
That's
is
exactly that's what this. I mean, the underground community are very that
yeah.
whole thing is big.
So the third world war in this was in the 50s. The second world war is the fourth world war is later,
Yeah,
more
so
recent.
the
But
Third World War was from 1950 to 1983,
yes,
and the fourth one was 5 days in 2007.
mm-hmm. But you're right. The underground world, it they've decided the best time was the 50s, so that's what they did.
Yeah,
One of the
and
things,
everybody wears whiteface.
yeah, the Rouge. I think the The thing I really like, I was rewatching this, and I was like, do you know what? The thing I really love about this movie is that on the surface level, on the surface, the ground level,
Hmm.
you see the worst of society,
Yeah.
and in the underground city, you also see the worst of society. It's
Yeah,
just like everyone's an asshole because you're
the
like
other way.
when you're watching it, you're like, oh my god, he's gonna go down and realize the error of his ways. Like, nope,
Yeah. No.
everyone's an asshole down there, just different.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and it's literally, and again, it's a community of scientists,
yeah,
and they've got robots, and you know, it's um, Fallout completely.
it
The
is.
whole thing, and of course, the original story was written by Harlan Ellison.
Yeah,
And
I haven't read the original. I don't know how close this is to Harlan Ellison's work.
so so a lot of the let's say the misogyny isn't quite in that
Yeah,
story.
there's a
He
lot of that.
he was very he wrote it basically so that all the stuff with women are sold, bought and sold, and all that sort of stuff. Of course, the whole idea that in a horrible future like this, men would go revert to their more basic instincts.
Yeah, everyone's reverted to their awful
Yeah, so he, of course,
baser
that was all.
selves. Yeah.
But certainly the last line of the movie, he hated.
Yeah,
So but he did like the movie in general,
right.
except for he didn't like the way Blood um, reacts to the girl. He said that he said Blood was a bit more misogynistic than he should be in the stories. But I think there are 3, maybe 4 stories, and a story that was going to be a screenplay for a sequel that never came up, which was a girl and her dog.
Right. Interesting.
But yeah, I haven't read the stories, but I've read the synopsis of them all, and it's like, okay, these all, because they're not very long, I don't think, and they all there are a lot more weirder stuff in it, like giant spiders
Oh, see, I love all that shit.
and the screamers, which you don't see in the movie.
I will say, I'm sure they're great in the novel. I'm glad we don't see them in the movie because it probably would have been quite underwhelming and silly.
Well, in the novel,
Mm.
it sounds like they're basically glowing ones from Fallout.
Okay, that makes sense.
So they're basically corpses that
He does
are
kind of say that. He says, "Oh, they'll get the green
yeah,
on you," and all
they
of that.
glow green, and
Mm.
that yeah, they're like corpses. Yeah,
Anyway, should we start this thing?
yeah, let's do it.
So we open with a literal bang. We
Yeah,
see the nuke go off, presumably the nuke from World War IV.
yeah,
And then we're kind of well, it's kind of like a sequence of explosions, isn't it? It's a sequence of
yeah.
explosions, and then it just
Really,
says
really
that,
brightly coloured, and
yes, like green as we
yeah,
said, and then it says basically World War IV ended in like 5 days, and
yeah,
that politicians finally solved the problem of urban blight.
yeah, which is really funny.
It is, well, if you didn't know this was a black comedy until now you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Very much a black comedy.
I think it's certain steps that it's whereas really early in that respect. But I don't know whether that. See, though, I discovered that the original airing, the original movie, didn't have that in it.
Oh, really?
So that was added in the 80s, I think.
Oh, so the version I have always seen and own
Yeah.
has that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't know
I
that.
think
That's interesting.
that was added a little bit later.
Oh, right. Yeah, I didn't know that. Um. So yeah, we're immediately um introduced to Vic, who
Yeah.
is I think are led to believe, with the
Yeah.
help of someone unknown, he's going to rescue a woman who is clearly being attacked or assaulted by a
Yep.
group in the wasteland. And he runs over, he knocks out one who's in a ditch, kind of a little away from the group, and then he's stalking the group. You can hear her screaming, and this voice is telling him where people are. At one point, he goes to move, and he says, "Oh no, wait, hold on. There's one
Yeah.
more. Stay down." So someone's obviously overseeing the situation,
Yeah.
and trying to help it. And we're then introduced to Blood, who
Yeah.
walks in. There's a lot of this in this movie, by the way. There's a lot of people hiding really badly in plain sight while people are like a few meters
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. There is.
That seems to happen a lot.
Yeah. You do sort of think, well, surely from there you can see
Yeah.
them because they're not exactly prone or even like
No.
hidden very well.
There's a bit at the end where they're literally stood under what looks like a street light next to a bin,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Yeah.
how is nobody seeing you?
Yeah. It's
But
yeah.
anyway, he hears what the girl. It sounds like she's probably died. And Blood
Yes.
is communicating to
Very
him
well.
through some kind of method. We don't know what.
Mm.
But he asks Blood to scan the room for presumably radiation, or for people maybe.
Well, I think yeah, either more people or Gribblies or
Mm.
whatever. There were clearly
And we hear his scanning noise.
Yeah.
And he says it's clean. So Vic enters, and we see a bloodied, naked woman on the table. Vic looks disgusted.
Yeah.
By this, and you assume, or you might assume, that that's because he's disgusted by what's just happened, and he kind of is, but not for the reasons you would like to think.
Yeah.
He is disappointed because he was looking for a woman to assault himself.
Yeah.
And they've robbed that opportunity from him by killing her.
Yeah. Well, Blood said before he goes down. Blood says, "Don't go down there. It's already all over unless your proclivities run to something else."
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, well, that tells you exactly what's happened, you know. And when he comes out, he says they didn't have to cut on her.
No.
She could have been used 2 or 3 more times.
Yeah.
So that's when you immediately go, oh right.
Yeah,
So
he's awful. Yeah.
This kid's got no fucking moral compass or anything like that. It's
no.
Yep.
None whatsoever. And in fact, when he comes out, he kind of chastises Blood, and Blood says, "Look, I find them. I said I would find them, and I did. I found her. I can't help in any other way. I found her." And he picks up a can of like beans or something. And he kind of motions as if he's going to throw it at Blood, and Blood says, "You would do that, wouldn't you? You would stone a defenseless animal because you're not a nice person at all."
Yeah, Albert.
Yes, yeah.
He keeps calling him Albert. So there is an Albert Payson Terhune who was a dog breeder and writer, and he mostly wrote about dogs and dog adventures. So that's why he calls him Albert.
Oh.
And he really hates being called Albert.
Yes, he does. I think, is it Tim McIntyre?
Yeah.
The voice of Blood. Honestly makes this movie. His commentary on stuff is super
brilliant. And McIntyre also, as well as being an actor, he was also music. So he did the music for this movie. And he sings the song at the end, the Boy and His Dog song.
Mm-hmm.
And he also did the music to Jeremiah Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
A really good, it's like frontier movie, and the music in that is really beautiful. So yeah, he was actually pretty talented musician as well as, or composer as well as actor. But he did a lot of voice acting, and Blood is wonderful. He's so acerbic and just
and dry.
Yeah, and really sort of. I love that he takes the piss out of him all the time, and I like that. Was it he says to him, "You're so funny when you're sexually frustrated."
Yeah, I like when so they watch this bloke get bludgeoned to death in the distance.
Yeah.
And then I love Blood says, I've scanned for women, I can't find any. I've sniffed, I've scanned, all I get is negatives, but I'm happy to tell you a suggestive story if that would help. So good. And then he does have this rhyme. I forget what it was. It was something about a cautious young fella.
Yeah,
I can't remember, but yeah, it's wonderful. And then of course we get finally the name A Boy and His Dog.
yeah.
um,
And I love that he's educating him as he's going along. It's like telling him, he's like,
desperately trying to educate him.
and he's so you get, which is it's good because it also tells you what's happened in the world.
That's the thing. It's actually a natural way to tell us the history of what's happening.
And I like so I think what I've read about the story is that uh, oh god, what's his name? Oh, for fuck's sake, my brain's just complete. The president who was assassinated in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get assassinated. Kennedy, thank you. For
Yeah,
fuck's
because
sake,
in this doesn't he say he lists the presidents
Kennedy.
and it's like Kennedy,
Yeah, he gives a
Kennedy,
list
Kennedy,
of
Kennedy.
He was Kennedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kennedy wasn't assassinated in this version.
Yeah.
And apparently, instead of space exploration, they concentrated more on robotics and genetics, and that's how blood came about.
Sure.
So you get the sort of that's the divergent, path on this one. Other than of course the 50s that get World War III in the 50s, and so it sets up already that this is a completely different world from ours.
Yeah, it's an alternate history,
but just a little different, So yeah, and I like that he's got the kid like reciting sort of things, and it's like no, do it again. You're so dull, aren't you? It's like you're such an idiot. It's like this is how it is. This is how it goes.
Doesn't he like pleads with him at one point as well? He's like, please assimilate it this time.
Yeah.
But basically, they're kind of wandering through the wasteland, looking for women, looking for food. That's kind of their everyday. Whilst Blood tries to teach him some of this history. You almost get the impression that, like, I guess maybe the people down below, but on the surface, Blood might be the last person with these historic memories, or one of the few.
Possibly, yeah. But we also get a number of times you get other dogs.
Yes.
And though you don't hear them, you know that they're doing what he does to somebody else. So it could be that all the dogs know their history and probably the humans don't.
Yeah, there is a really good bit later on, which we'll get to, when they're questioning a dog. And there is a part where you're like, is this just a normal dog that you're having to go at? Or is this one like Blood?
The funny thing about that is he clearly talks to when
Vic,
he's on the
bench. Vic talks to him.
The bench. Yeah, but we don't hear what he says.
No. He's because he's disgusted by the leash, isn't he? He's like,
Yeah. And what we do also get here is the three the shot of the three people watching in the distance, watching. All we see is their legs.
Yes, they've
in very well made clothes.
Yes, well made clothes, and they've got the they've got like bags over their feet, kind of thing. They're radiation proof. Fully sealed. But yeah, so this kind of goes on for a little while, doesn't it? We get Vic and Blood kind of going back and forth. I did love the scene where I think it's Vic doing the voiceover. But you see that they do care for each other. You got that shot of Vic kind of cleaning Blood's eyes, and then they kind of playfully tumble down the hill and stuff. They have.
Yeah, it's like they are constantly sort of snipping at each other, but then
they do like each other. There is
and then they'll do something for one another that's sort of like it's like, oh, they are actually looking after each other, and they're just that's just the way they are. And you get
I love the bit when he's like, he says, I think it's around this point, he's like, oh my god, why is this food so hard to get? Why doesn't it just grow right out of the ground? How do you like that for a pipe dream? And Blood's just like, it's called farming.
Yeah. And Blood basically has got this. He has in this. It's one of those sort of things that he has is that whole the idea of over the hill.
Mm.
A place called Over the Hill, and that's the promised land for these people. It's the and I like it. They're sat in this sort of like I can't remember what it is they're sat in. It's something in it like half buried that they're sort of sat in.
It's like like half. It's like a shelter of some kind, isn't
Yeah,
it?
and he says, who is it who told you this? He says, is it a trusted source? It's like, what do you mean? Because it was a police dog, and I love the whole idea. Like, you don't trust police dogs? God damn!
Yeah.
You get that whole bit where he now sulks, and he doesn't speak to him, and then he's like, "You're supposed to be finding me women." Because it's like you know I can't. Because you find the food, I find the women.
It doesn't he
And
say
he's
he can't work when he's hungry, and he's just like, and it
yeah,
had like at one point his only response is, "I'm hungry,"
yeah.
and Vic's like, "No, you find the women, then we'll find food," and he's just like, "I'm
And he's like,
hungry."
"You're not playing that shit on me again. You've done that before." He says, "I'm not falling for it." And he's like, "Well, I can't work when I'm hungry."
Yeah, and yeah, Blood's like, no food, no women. That's it.
Yeah,
You know.
and he says that whatever the process of whatever it is that made him telepathic
Mm.
basically got rid of his hunting instinct, so he can't find food
Yes.
for himself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he
They're
relies on.
codependent. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean, yeah, more so Vic. Vic is an idiot. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
I mean, he's
yeah.
in this. I mean, he is only in the movie. He's supposed to be 18. I think he's
Mm-hmm.
15. I think in the story, so he's even
Right.
younger in the story. So it makes sense that he doesn't know anything.
No, he's mostly grown up post apocalypse, or
Yeah.
entirely post apocalypse, depending on the age. So yeah, he wouldn't know.
Right.
But anyway, they come across this caravan of children, children transporting this eccentric looking Fallout man,
Yeah.
very Fallout, and they're digging in the dirt for something, and they think it must be something really special. There's something in the hole, and they're digging, and this guy is just going around punching these kids and trying to make them work. And Vic's like, "Why do they follow him?" And Blood's just like, "It must be his charisma."
Yeah. And that must be clearly like a joke that's completely lost on Vic.
Oh yeah. No, I think half of what Blood says he does to amuse himself because he knows Vic won't get it, but it's funny to him.
Yeah.
So they're kind of watching this going on, and you kind of learn the dynamic here of the two, because Vic is just going to run in there and grab the food and leg it.
Yeah.
And Blood is the one that's like, think this through. Strategy. We need some strategy.
Yeah. We need to plan what we're gonna do. We're gonna wait for the proper time when you can like jump out and he's like, no, I'm going, and he just puts his rifle down and legs it, and just grabs the bag.
Doesn't he he kills his minstrel as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he shoots one of them. Yeah,
or the bard or whatever he's meant to be.
Yeah. And I just
because he's like forcing this guy to play guitar who's like on a leash.
Yeah. Oh, and that's right. And Blood says, "God, I wish he would tune that."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh dear. But yeah, so we kind of see that dynamic that Vic is very much head on into action without any thought whatsoever, and Vic is clearly the brains of the operation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, ultimately Vic wins out.
Way that the guy, the slaver, is he's basically just goes, oh, don't let him go. Just he's like, almost like he admires his bravery for stealing the food. It's basically like, yeah, come back and I will kill you, sort of thing. But
Yeah.
fair play to you, sort of thing. You got one over on me. Fair enough, sort
Mm.
of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he is more of an antagonist in the stories as well.
I
I think
really.
yeah, I think he appears more than once. I think.
Oh. Oh, one of the other things we do learn in this is this kind of interaction is that Vic's a hell of a shot.
Yeah,
He's a hell of a good
pretty
shot.
good. Yeah,
But anyway, he basically runs in, grabs the stuff, and just legs it.
yeah,
And I love the guy is just like, whatever's in this hole is way more important. So he's like, stop running after him, get back here
yeah,
and dig. And
yeah.
he's like, at least he's got some guts, unlike the lot of you.
Exactly. Yeah, he's almost chuffed that somebody just almost chuffed to see sort of some sort of you know I
Mm,
guess something different in the wilderness. Really, isn't it? It's
yes. Someone who's willing to take a chance.
yeah,
Meanwhile, the people following Vic and Blood are seen again.
mhm,
This time, because the first time we saw them, we didn't mention they were unsure.
yeah,
Now they are sure, and they say
yeah,
that's our boy. Put out the cheese,
yeah.
and you can probably guess what the cheese is by
I
now.
mean, yeah, it wouldn't take a rocket
No,
scientist
no,
to
no.
realize exactly what the cheese would be.
Uh-huh. So, so now they have some food, which of course they can barter with, and Vic says, "Hey, what would you like to do tonight?" And Albert's like, "Oh, I don't mind whatever you want to do."
Yeah.
They're like a married couple,
Yeah,
basically.
and it's really sweet because the sort of camera pans back and they're sort of like
You got that
they're like
beautiful sunset behind them. They're kind of silhouetted
yeah,
in the yeah.
yeah. They've just had a really good feed
Yeah.
and they're stretched out and it's really quite sweet.
Yeah. And they're Vic's kind of worked out that, well, I've got these cans of food that I've just stolen. That's probably enough for us to not only watch a movie, but
Yeah,
also buy some popcorn.
yeah.
So they head down to the flicks, I guess. This kind of
The sort of little shanty town we
yeah,
got.
yeah. And he offers him some to barter to get in. He passes some food over. I can't remember what he passes over first. It's some MREs or something.
I think it's sardines. I think.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's sardines first,
Yeah,
and then it's beets. For the
yeah,
because he says, oh, the dog also needs to be paid for, so he
yeah.
gives him beets, and he asks what it is, and he says peaches, and the guy's
Peaches.
looking at it, and it clearly says peach. He's like, what? Can't you
Yeah,
read? And the guy's like, oh yeah, it's peaches.
yeah. He's supposed to know. He's like, well, can't you read? It's like, no, fucking not.
I
But
loved it
and
after
what I love,
Blood's like, oh, beets are better for him anyway.
yeah. What I like about that though is he's handing in his weapons.
Yes.
That's and the kid or whoever it is that's like putting up the gun. He like puts it up on the wall and he's like, "Don't put it there. If you put it there, it'll get rusty."
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, put it back further, nearer the fire, because if that thing comes rusty, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. And the kid's like, "Fuck you," and he's just about to hit him, and the gun comes down through the sort of the ceiling, and he's like, "We don't want any trouble," sort of thing. He's like, "No, no, no," but move the guy's gun. So he's like, and I like that, you know, Vic knows about guns. He knows how to keep. So that's good. That's it.
Well,
He
and he
knows,
is a good shot, so yeah.
so he knows how to keep his weapons clean and in order. So
I mean,
that's
presumably, with as stupid as he is, that's how he's survived this long.
yeah,
Combination of the dog and guns.
yeah, yeah. And he does seem to have at least some instincts about fighting. When they are fighting, he sort of knows what he's doing, but clearly he doesn't plan out the whole, plan out enough. He just knows what he's doing in the moment, sort of
Mm. Yeah.
thing.
So Blood was hoping for some popcorn. Vic's not going to get it.
Yeah.
And basically says, well, remember that the next time you call me Albert. And Blood says, Doesn't he say like, I hope the next time you play with yourself, you go blind.
Yeah.
Uh, so they start to watch the movie, whatever the fuck this is.
I mean, it's a blue movie,
It's a blue movie, clearly, yeah.
but it also has some of the weirdest things, like what look like the Ku Klux Klan, maybe at one
Yeah,
point.
I have no idea.
This is the weirdest porn. It's like, okay, sure. So one of the guys in the porn
Mm.
is L.Q. Jones, who was the director.
Oh, okay.
So he actually he got the story and he wanted to direct it, and um, they couldn't find funding for it. There was no funding. So he basically got his own production company, and basically through just friends and stuff, managed to get the $400,000 to make the movie. Of course,
Right.
it tanked when it came out.
Yeah.
But he himself is an actor, and if you know him, he's been in he was in shared loads of westerns.
Mm-hmm.
Usually played heavies. He was in Hang 'Em High. He was in The Wild Bunch, The Ballad of Cable Hogue, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. Um, I mostly remember him. The one that always sticks in my mind for him is The Mask of Zorro.
Yeah.
So he was the friend of the two brothers at the beginning.
Right.
He was like the supposed bounty hunter
Mm-hmm.
that turns out to be their partner.
Yeah.
And the scene I remember the most is when they're at the mine, and he comes down on the cart with the pick, and the guy just shoots him, and he goes flying. That one.
Mm-hmm.
That's L.Q. Jones, and it's like, wow, that's yeah. He was in like so much. He was a really prolific thing, and it's just, I think this was his second movie that he directed.
Right.
So yeah,
Okay. It's quite well directed, I thought.
it is. I think it's great.
Yeah, me too. So, Blood is constantly complaining through the movie about not having popcorn.
Yeah.
I love the bit when he's like, watch the master at work, and he does the puppy dog eyes to this guy who's got popcorn, and the guy just walks away. He's like, no.
Yeah. He's like, he like moves, immediately puts his shoulder in front of him and turns around and sort of like, and he's still sort of like pleading, and he just goes away.
So Blood ultimately says, "Hey, there's a woman in here," and of course Vic's immediately looking around like, "Where?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, give me a minute, I can't think." And he's like, I'm hungry, I can't think."
Yeah.
And there's now Vic doesn't know if he's winding him up. He's like, are you serious, or are you winding me up? Like he's like, you he doesn't he at one point say like, "You've taught me to believe everything you say."
Yeah. And he's being, again, Blood's being a prick about it.
Yeah, he wants his popcorn.
Popcorn. He's not gonna help him until he gets his popcorn.
It is very much a dog thing, just like food obsessed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think doesn't like at some point some random person walk past and he's like, "Oh, that was her, wasn't it?" Like it's like no idea.
Yeah.
And then ultimately he's like, "Okay, fine, I'll buy you the fucking popcorn,"
And I like the way he's like, "Come on, where is it?" He's like, okay, she's wearing a knit hat, and she's sat in that like, over there, sort of thing.
Yeah. But yeah, so Vic is just constantly I pretty much like the whole movie. They barely watch the movie because he just spends the whole time trying to look for this woman.
But weirdly, he does have patience. He actually just once he spots her, he does sit down and he waits till everybody else buggers off. He doesn't just jump on her like there and then. He actually he does sort of almost have a plan of himself. He's gonna wait till everybody goes away and he's gonna follow her.
Yeah. So he does that. She eventually walks off right past him in an almost obvious display. Um, of course, does it on the way out? Doesn't Blood find popcorn on the floor and starts eating it? Um, but yeah, so they kind of sneak out after the movie, and obviously, Blood is on the scent on the trail of the woman, and they track her down to this. I guess it's like a shelter, isn't it? Like some kind of.
It's a YMCA, I think, apparently.
Oh, okay, because it's kind of half buried, isn't it? If I remember
Yeah,
right. So
I thought it was a school, but I think it says it's a YMCA. So yeah,
mm,
and it's got like beds and stuff in there. So at some point, it was definitely a sort of a shelter for probably a small community that
mm.
probably doesn't exist anymore.
Well, or as Vic says, she's a fucking idiot for going down there because that's where
Yeah,
screamers live. So
yeah,
either they left and screamers moved in, or they became screamers.
yeah,
What one or the other. Either way, it's a dangerous place to be. Vic is clearly just stupid enough to have to do this anyway because of a
yeah.
woman. You know, he's that desperate to find a woman. He's gonna do it. Um, and I think Blood stays up top initially, doesn't he? He doesn't come
Yeah,
down.
he's you know usually as it seems to be very cautious. And he's like, no, are you sure you want to do this? There's going to be dangerous down there.
Mm.
It's like just scan for anything, and he does scan. There doesn't appear to be anything down there other than the girl at that.
No. And as you said, we do we do see that whatever this building was, there's a lot of beds and places set up, so it was obviously became something of a shelter. Uh,
Yeah,
as towards the end of the war, I guess. So Vic searches around, ultimately coming across the lady. She's getting changed, isn't she?
yeah,
At the
yeah.
time.
She's changing into
So he kind of
female.
does the psycho staring through the hole in the wall thing.
Yeah,
um, and yeah, ultimately she gets dressed, and then he catches her, pulls a gun on her, and he's finally found a live woman.
yeah.
Um, and he says, he pulls a gun on her, and he's like, "I'm gonna go over there and get one of those mattresses. If you move, you'll get shot,
Well,
basically."
he says, "I'm going to shoot you in the leg."
Yeah, yeah.
He says, "I'm going to shoot you in the leg because and then I'm going to do it anyway."
Yeah, he's like, I'm still gonna do it, but you'll just be without a leg, which is
Yeah,
horrendous.
yeah.
Vic is not a nice person, by the way,
No,
in case you hadn't figured that out
just in
yet.
case you haven't
He's
figured
an
out.
absolute piece of shit.
But he's a product of his upbringing.
Yeah.
He didn't really had an upbringing.
Well, and as is she, as we will find out.
Hmm.
As is Blood.
Yeah,
You know, who I think if I had one person in this movie, it probably would be Blood. To be like, okay, he's at least he's quite funny.
yeah.
Not particularly nice, but he's quite funny.
No, he's just as ruthless
He is.
as
He's
Vic.
still not nice. Like he's still totally up for this horrendous sexual assault thing that they've got going
Yeah,
on.
and he immediately takes a dislike for Quilla.
Oh yeah, well he just thinks she's too much trouble, basically.
Yeah,
And you get the feeling maybe she's messing up the dynamic of their relationship there.
exactly.
You
Yeah,
know,
she's a
I mean,
potential.
pets do that with partners.
Yeah,
I remember my cat when he was alive. He would be like that for a while. New partner, it would take a little while. You know.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, so she tells him her name, and he's like, "Oh, that's a weird name." She's like, "Well, it's not
yeah.
weird where I come from. Like, it's weird. It's weird where you come from, baby, but not where I come from." Um, and yeah, they kind of discuss a little. She's very tight-lipped about where she's from, or what's going on. Um,
Yeah.
but
Incidentally, Susan Benson, like Quilla, she was chosen specifically because of her eyes.
right.
Apparently, as soon as they saw her when she auditioned, they were like, "Oh yeah, that is the look we're going for. She's got the perfect eyes," and you sort of see that she
Mm,
has these sort of big, dark eyes that look like she's very good at putting on the innocent.
Yeah.
You know, she has that ability, and it's like, but you can just see the intelligence behind it. That you're like, oh yeah, no, this is clearly an act.
She knows exactly what she's doing. Yeah.
Yeah,
So as they're talking, you kind of immediately see that Vic is kind of a little more taken by her than I would assume is normal.
yeah.
Because they start conversing, and I feel like there would be less of this normally. And he almost
Yeah,
seems shocked by it, because at one point he's like, "Well, I guess we should, actually do this now."
yeah.
Which is when blood turns up. Um,
I mean, it could be that he doesn't really have any experience at all in it,
well,
and
doesn't he say he hasn't had sex for like 6 weeks or something at one point? Because he says I think he says to Blood, like, I haven't had sex for 6 weeks, and you've definitely eaten between the end of that period of time.
yeah,
Um, but anyway, Blood is here with a warning. Screamers are about, and they've
no,
surrounded, or someone surrounded the place.
it's a raiding party.
Yeah,
It's a raiding party of like 20 people. I think he says something like that.
yeah, and I love he says to Blood, he's like, "What do you suggest?" And as he says it, his trousers falls down.
Yeah, yeah,
Blood's like, "I suggest you pull your pants up, Romeo."
yeah. And um, Blood basically says that the raiding party's probably doing exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, he's they're here for her, and Blood
Yeah,
thinks, leave her and let's
yeah.
go.
And
Um,
he basically says they've probably got a dog as well. That's why they're here.
how they found it. Now,
Yeah,
meanwhile, she is completely blown away by this weird one-sided conversation between this guy and his dog. She has
yeah,
no idea what's going on. She's like,
no,
"What is going on?" She tries talking to him,
yeah.
to Blood, because Vic goes to scout ahead and Blood stays behind.
And she's going, oh, nice doggy sort of thing, and pretty doggy. Come, why don't you talk to me, doggy? And he's like, well, I wish she would shut up. She's really like messing with my concentration.
Well, at one point he turns around and barks at her and says, "Shut
Yeah,
up,"
he does. Yeah,
which is really funny. But I think it's the only time you see him really lose his shit.
yeah,
Um, anyway, Vic sneaks up and kind of spies on the raiding party coming in.
yeah.
And they come to realize that there's probably several ways into this building. Um, Vic kind of comes back and says, "Yeah, we are really outnumbered." To which Blood says, "Leave the girl. That's what they're there for. We can just walk out.
We'll get out.
We can leave her." But Vic is refusing to do that.
Yeah, he's basically sort of no. We're gonna siege this bad boy.
I would like to suggest that this is him being kind, but I don't think it is.
No,
That's
he's
all.
being
He like there's no niceties here. I don't think he's doing this out of chivalry or anything else.
being stupid and selfish,
And
really.
a teenager at that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's thinking about one thing, and
Yeah.
when he said he was against the odds, he was not kidding.
No.
There are bloody loads of these people.
Yeah, I think, like he says, I think there's like 20 guys up there.
Yeah.
And as Blood points out, they start coming in from other places. They first of all they come through, and there's a bit of a shootout, and Vic does prove to be pretty handy.
He's a good shot. Yeah,
he's a good shot, and he moves around. He doesn't stay still, and he's pretty good with
he
that.
has some skills in terms of survival when it comes to confrontation and stealth, and
and Blood basically then points out that they found other ways in. We're going to get overrun.
Yeah.
It's not. Then you get a sort of more of a sort of a shootout. More people come in, and then you see that they do indeed have a dog.
Yes, they do.
And there's a fight between Blood and whatever dog that is. Whoever, we don't know his name, but we get a fight between the two dogs and Vic and the rest.
Yeah. So while Vic is fighting off the raiders, Blood is fighting the dog. We then hear that screamers are coming.
Yeah.
And even the raiding party are obviously terrified of this and start
No, so
shooting.
we so that's no. So what happens is we I did put we did miss the so the dog so Blood does drag a gun to the girl,
Yes, he does. Yes,
which is
which she
interesting.
does use to save Vic at one
Does
point. Yeah.
saves Vic at one point, which is interesting that he does that. But so she's wearing um, he said Blood says the only thing that'll scare them off is
Green.
a thing. So he says she's got a green skirt, and he says we need a bit of light and that. And he starts making the moan. He starts moaning, and of course, everybody in the thing is like, "Oh fuck! There's a screamer." So they, first of all, the guys that are left in the building start getting the fuck out. They're like, "No, no, no, we're going." The guys on top are like, they start shooting into the bunker
That's right. Yeah.
basically. And Vic
Which
puts
which like just probably shot half of their guys. The amount of
yeah,
the
yeah,
amount of
exactly.
lead they just send into that building
Yeah, just
aimlessly.
to hit some of their own dude. Vic, he makes a scarecrow, doesn't he, of the skirt, and he flashes light up from it. But of course, that's enough. They're gone.
Yeah.
They are, and blood's wounded, but
Yes.
not too bad. He's bloodied and a bit battered. And
Yeah.
but he does, he scans. He says, "That's it. They've all gone. They fucked off. It worked."
Mm. Yeah.
Yes, but the only problem is real screamers turn up.
Yes. Yes. Well, first we get her she tries to run away.
Yeah,
And he says like, are you crazy? They'll, do you want to get caught by these guys? Like just stay down, stay quiet, Um
yeah,
so, again, I think more out of selfishness than anything else.
yeah,
Um but as you said, the real thing is here. The screamers are actually here. And
yeah.
all we see of them, I believe, is the green light, isn't it?
Green light, yeah,
Yeah.
glowing.
So as
And
you
of
said,
course,
very much
we'll
Fallout.
hear their noise as well.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, basically they're glowing ones from Fallout.
Yeah. Yeah. Effectively. But they find a place to hide.
Yeah, it's a boiler. They climb into a boiler.
Mm-hmm.
Which has got mattress in it.
Yeah.
Again, at some point, we did survive in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And ultimately, the screamers leave, having not found the pair of them, or the three of them. And Vic, I guess, finally gets his own way. Is
Yeah,
Quilla? Quilla approaches him,
yeah.
and yeah,
Like, he says, Blood says about some like reproduction is so disgusting or something. Like he says.
yeah, and it goes on all night to the point where he's like,
Yeah,
"I'm not gonna pretend to be asleep much longer."
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, so obviously they make love many times through the night. Um, but
that's it. He says breeding is an ugly thing.
yeah. Um, in the morning, she's kind of questioning how he survived so long, and
Yeah,
Vic kind of makes out like it's his own genius, and Blood helps a bit.
yeah. He does a few things. They
Uh,
basically go to sort of see if the way's clear, isn't it? And
yes.
when he comes back in, she clocks him with a torch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when he wakes up, it's like, just go away, all that sort of stuff. And he's like really pissed off. And Blood's basically like, good.
Yeah. Yeah. Blood's like finally.
Yeah, it's like she's gone. Like we can continue now. We can like get on with you know, with our lives now.
Mm-hmm.
I guess for him, it's a case of I guess I'll have to find the next one
Yeah.
now.
They did have a brief moment where they talked where she was trying to understand how he can hear blood.
Mm,
And he doesn't really answer. He just says, "I don't know. I just can't. I guess." He said, doesn't he
yeah.
say that blood said we're connected somehow,
Hmm.
effectively?
Yeah,
Um,
because he won't know. So,
no, he's no idea.
but that does make you wonder about the dog later because
Well, that's why I wonder. Does the dog underground? Because she may just not be aware of it.
yeah,
Um,
it could be, but you'd have thought if it, you know,
I,
because
I,
she, well, it's too early to say who she is, but
mm,
you'd have thought she'd have been aware of that particular one.
yeah,
I don't.
you would have thought so, but I
Yeah,
wonder whether they have. Either it's a joke because it is quite funny seeing them trying to question this dog, um,
yeah,
or they have spy dogs that only the upper levels are aware of,
maybe.
so
Yeah,
that they can spy on the people because they're constantly making lists and sending people to
yeah,
the farm. So, um,
that would make sense. Yeah, that's true.
but in any case, yeah, as you said, she escapes, and you know, Blood's kind of perfectly happy with this. Vic is
Yeah,
not.
and Vic finds a card, some holes in
Yes.
a punch card, basically.
Mm-hmm. Um,
Smell this. Where is it? What is it? It's like probably you know one of the things to get into the thing. It's like what?
yeah, he says it's probably the the way down to whatever safety hatch
Yeah,
she's come from. Because she in fairness, so far she is the one person not covered in shit. Like
that's yeah,
she's very clean. Her clothes are very clean.
yeah.
Um, her bra is like perfect white.
But yeah, it's yeah.
It's like okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we just say for a minute how bloody good this dog's acting is at like
Well, yeah, Tiger. He was wonderful, wasn't he?
he's wonderful at emoting. He's wonderful at like when he's limping with one foot. I'm like, oh my god, he
Yeah,
does. And they had the blood on his fur and stuff, and he does look.
yeah. They,
Um,
the foot. They basically just put elastic band on it.
oh, is that what they did?
Yeah, they put elastic band on his foot. But he was amazingly well trained, and he just
He did a few
it was.
movies, didn't he? I think.
I think he was. Yeah, he was in a few things. He was in a few TV things
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, he is so amazingly well trained, and
Mm.
it really does look like he's pulling facial expressions, and it's just so cool.
Yeah. So they get up to the surface and they start trying to track her down. Blood says on the way, he's like, "Hey, please slow down," because obviously he's injured. And
Yeah,
when Vic finally does, he says, "Look, the underground places were raided by people from the up from on the ground. They were raided by raiders from the top world constantly. They will probably kill you on sight if you go down there. They do not like outsiders."
yeah,
And he says, which I thought was like a genuine moment. He says, "Look, if you're tired of me, find someone else to hang out with, but do not go down there, Vic. Like it's
yeah,
bad."
yeah,
But Vic says, I've got to, um,
yeah.
have to. Uh,
And Blood basically saying, "Look, this is too easy. It's you found that card.
mm,
It's clearly a trap,
yeah.
but obviously Vic doesn't want to hear it.
Well, and of course, Blood was there because they did have that brief conversation about being together, and she's like, "Oh, you can come live with me, and we'll be safe."
Yeah,
But of course, she says that Blood wouldn't be allowed down there. Basically, wasn't it? It was like it would just
yeah,
be him and her, which is when he's like, "No, I'm staying." Then, like, sod that. I'm not giving up Blood.
yeah,
So they're kind of he's kind of aware that this is all too like she's tried to persuade him, couldn't. Now she's done this, left the card conveniently,
yeah,
which also makes no sense when you obviously Vic is not thinking about this logically.
no,
But how did she get back down if she didn't have the card? Like
yeah,
it doesn't make any sense. If he was thinking with anything other than his penis, he would have he would have immediately been like, "Hold on a
yeah,
minute."
completely, yeah,
No, in a normal movie, this would be a plot hole, but it's not
yeah,
because
no,
Vic is
oh,
just thinking of his dick.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
absolutely,
But he does love blood, and when he gets to the hatch, he does say, "I will come back for you. I'll be back.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be back in a bit." He's like, "Will you wait for me?" And Blood says, "For a while, but
Yeah.
then over the hill."
Hmm.
So there's something, you know, he'll wait as long as he can.
Yeah.
They do have quite a sweet moment. You know, he says to
Yeah,
take
they do.
care, and you know that they'll catch up.
And you know, Vic, for his part, does look anxious to leave him on his own.
Yeah, he does.
By his
They
his
they
overriding.
genuinely do love each other.
Yeah, and you know, he's anxious to leave him alone, but his penis is speaking, so off he
Yes,
goes.
off he goes. Um, so he climbs down into, you know, it almost looks like a missile silo or something, doesn't it? Is he, or a submarine almost? As he's
Yeah,
kind of climbing down all these ladders, making his way inside. You know, we kind of see it like almost like a well, it looks like it must be a huge. I guess this is where maybe the vaults come from for Fallout.
yeah.
You know, these
It's
massive underground complexes.
yeah. It's a huge place. And apparently, you know, it's got a forest and everything in there, so it's a
Well, we do
huge.
see like the town square, don't we? We see that, and that's got grass and everything else.
Yeah, of course, it's all dark because it's, you know, covered over.
Yes.
We've got electric lights, but
Mm.
yeah, it's clearly a very well maintained bunker.
Yeah. And so Vic comes out into a darkened place to the sound of elephants and tigers, lions, elephants and lions and hyenas,
Yeah,
and he's like, "What is this? I'm terrified." But then we see on a loudspeaker, it's like, "Oh, this is like today's historical noises of Africa or something," and like, you
yeah, yeah.
know, but he's very quickly captured, and given a bath while people
Yeah.
stare on, eating chocolate and stuff and laughing.
By Michael.
Yeah. Um, and as you said, I think you said this on air. They're all in like a white face with like rouge,
Yeah,
rosy cheeks.
rosy cheeks and lipstick, and yeah, they all have the same sort of weird, doll-like face, isn't it? It's that sort of old-fashioned doll face.
Yes, yes. Um, and we see they've got like a whole marching band playing, and it
It's the
really
weirdest.
gives me prisoner vibes. You know,
Yeah, it does have that sort of weird, uncanny place because they've clearly chosen,
a
you
period,
know,
and
yeah, the idyllic version of the 50s is what they've chosen
yes.
to live as, and you've got this almost constant noise. You've got a
Oh
marching
god,
band
there's
going
so
on.
much noise going over on top of noise. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got the marching band going on. You've got like a barbershop quartet singing,
Mm-hmm.
and then you've still got the tannoy
Well, yeah, which sometimes is like
giving.
reciting recipes and shit,
Yeah,
and
it's giving you food recipes. It's giving you thoughts for the day. It's sort of giving lectures and stuff. And it's all happening all at the same bloody time. It's really like confusing.
yeah.
And you see like there's a shot that they keep cutting back to, and it's just a sea of girls, like a line of
Yes.
these of young ladies,
And
just sort of all like giggling and joking.
Vic, after being washed and clothed like a farmer,
Yeah,
he's brought out, and as soon as he sees that line of ladies, he
yeah.
just goes straight for them, and the big guy has to like pull him back.
Michael,
Is it
yeah,
Michael? I could
yeah.
only think of him as the farmer the whole way through,
I
because they keep
love
saying
it.
take them to the farm, which is when he deals
Yeah,
with them. So it's like, you
yeah,
know,
yeah. And that's Michael was played by Hal Baylor, who was played heavy in so
oh
many
yeah,
movies. Like apparently he's like he at one point he said that he like you name the film star, I've beaten them up. You know, like John Wayne and like all the sort of big sort of I've kind of been up. And apparently he was a sort of a gentle giant figure, but he was a boxer.
right.
So before he was a professional boxer before he was an actor. And yeah, he's a big dude. And I love that he's got this constant grin on his face.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
yeah. Um, So Vic meets a dog who is leashed to a bench, and we see they
Yeah,
have something of a conversation.
yeah.
We don't
We
hear
sort of
it, but
don't hear
something is
it,
said.
but something is definitely said, and he's horrifyingly you know, does the leash that he's sort of tied to the bench with,
Mm.
and the one of the one of the guys in charge sort of is like immediately pissed off because it's like he something happened there, but we never really get to know what happened.
Mm.
But it clearly the dog said something that he shouldn't have because the
He's given
basically
away
like
something. Yeah.
yeah, and Michael basically grabs the the kid and they pick up the dog. He's obviously due for punishment at some point.
Mm. And speaking of punishment, they announce over the tannoy or whatever that there's going to be like punishment awards in
Yeah,
an hour.
yeah,
And then I think we cut to that, right, because then there's the
yeah,
woman with the peaches in the jar, and
yeah. And we've got Jason Robards, who's a wonderful actor, who's basically the seems to be the sort of the main boss, even though there are three bosses. And I just like the way he sort of he's sort of lounged back and he's sort of going over all these things, and one of the women brings him like plans for something to do something
yes,
part of the
the woman who is uh Mez Smith,
yeah
who I swear to God, I was I looked away, and you just hear the voice.
yeah
I could have sworn it was Michael Barrett. Like her voice is like the same.
right
And I looked around and I was like, that's not Major Barrett. I was like, oh no, it's not. It's someone completely different. She just has a very similar voice.
yeah
Um but yeah, so they're
and
looking at plans
yeah
and kind of
and I like
discussing the fate of people.
yeah and the two like an older couple get brought out and
Yes,
he's
they've
like
been
what's
warned, they've been ignoring warnings,
yeah
and yeah.
he says what's the issue here, and it's like yeah that the insubordination, lack of respect sort of thing, and he's like yeah they've been I think three times I think they've been warned before,
Something like that.
and he's like okay fair enough that's it, warning's over, send them to the farm.
Yes.
So from there we get this anything that goes too bad they go to the farm,
Yeah,
which I
don't they?
love that.
They try to make an excuse sometimes as well. They're like, "Oh, it was a farming accident with machinery or something like that,"
Yeah,
and because I
yeah,
guess in their idyllic society they don't want to outright say we're murdering people. Um,
yeah.
they're just taking them to one side and then
The funny thing is it's the thing that adults tell children about
oh yeah, they've gone to the farm. Yeah.
dogs. They've gone to live on a farm.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens to dogs when they get ill and past their best years, they go to live on the farm.
Yeah. So Quilla comes in and is immediately sits on the knee and is embraced by who you suspect is her father at first.
No, it is her father.
The way she speaks to him
Yeah.
is like
Ew.
ew, yeah. She treats him like an absolute creep and wants nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
She wants to be on the committee. So there's this ruling committee, which is the people that have convened this punishment hearing meeting.
Yeah, the triumvirate.
Yeah. She wants to be a part of that. Her father refuses, says, hey, in good time.
Yeah.
And
And she says that's why she went up in the first place. That's
yeah.
why, you told me that if I went up and did this job for you, you put me on the council.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she says that there need to be young people on the council, basically.
Absolutely,
like,
yeah.
all the old people are clearly in charge, and it needs new blood. This is what she thinks. Is how she thinks.
Mm. Yeah.
And he gets pissed off with her, and he sort of sends her on her way, sort of thing. And the way he talks to the woman that needs it, he says basically like, "Oh God, what's the problem with her? Do we promise that?" And it's like, we could we sort of did, and he's like, well, because you know what, give it a couple of days, marry her off to that whatever it is, like Johnson boy or whatever it is. Is there something as an if she still won't settle down, off to the farm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that basically shows you that, you know, even though it's his daughter, he clearly lusts after her.
Yeah. 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 For sure.
He has no real attachment to her, even though she's his own.
No.
You know, even in this place where you would think, oh well, it's clearly more civilized and other, to a fucking degree it is, yeah, but they're in some ways worse than they are upstairs, as it were.
Yeah. Well, Quilla comes outside and immediately meets who I assume is the guy that they were talking about marrying her off to.
Yeah, there's a couple of young people that
and
obviously
she
are co-conspirators.
Co-conspirators, yes, and she says, you know, oh, they wouldn't give me a seat on the committee, even though that's the only reason I went through with this stupid plan of theirs in the first place. And you know, they have a conversation about the plan, but then he's clearly upset that she's not really interested in him.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I am interested in you. You know, it's like she's like playing him as well. And
yeah,
you know.
and we really see how much of a manipulator she is.
Oh god, yeah.
We've sort of suspected it already, and
Mm.
we've seen that she, you know, she was leading Mick on. We knew all that, but now we see that she's totally a manipulator and sort of, you know, and you do sort of think, well, even if she did get on the council, she would be just as corrupt, if not worse, than
That's the
people
thing,
that
isn't it? She's claiming revolution and claiming that she wants to take over, but in reality, her rule would be just as bad, if not potentially worse.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, the committee get Michael to bring in the dog for questioning.
Yeah.
And they shout at the dog and say, come on, we're going to find out sooner or later, so you might as well just tell us now. What did you say?
The dog just gives him the cold shoulder, doesn't he? He sort of looks away. Like,
yeah.
nope, I'm not saying anything.
I love that one of the guys is like, oh, maybe he's just a bit confused. And then he tries to have a go. And he's like, how about it, boy? You know, we can make life a lot easier for you. And the dog just looks the opposite direction.
Yeah. And again, it's to the farm.
Yep, to the farm with you. And then they bring in Vic, who you know, is just confused at this point. He's kind of he's fed up with being manhandled. He's been stripped. He's had these farmer's clothes put on him. You know,
he's been washed, which he's not sure about.
Well, I love later on. He's like, I want to get covered in mud. I want to be covered in mud and feel clean again.
Clean again,
yeah. So yeah, they talk about him as if he is a piece of meat. They're like, oh, you know, he's disease free, he's clean, he's fine.
Well, it's another thing you get why these guys are probably, you know, they were probably all descended. They're all, you know, scientists and so he's literally just a specimen to them.
Yeah. He has basically the traits they feel they need.
Yeah.
And you know, it even to Vic now, it's dawning on him with a little assistance from the committee exactly what happened.
I like it. They're sort of they start off using sort of flowery language that clearly doesn't have a fucking clue about what's going on, and they're like, you know, well, you know, being down here, we've discovered that basically the men have become sterile and we can't have any kids anymore, and the kids we do have are all basically just females. So we need
breeders.
We need breeders, sort of thing, and yeah, eventually Vic's like, oh right, oh, so you're saying that I just got to, you know, have sex with all these women out there? Oh, that's brilliant. He says, I love you. He says, we'll just line them all up, and he goes to the woman, we'll start with you, and she just lets out the most tremendous laugh. and then we get the rows of um bright. Well, we first of all we get like what looks like a marriage, don't we?
Yes, yeah, they
Right.
seemingly get married.
Yeah, and then it's you get the preacher and one of the triumvirate and this woman in a wedding dress, and they're going through the ceremony, and then it cuts to a some sort of pump and
Yes.
um, a test tube
Mm-hmm.
and some sort of liquid going into that test tube,
Where
and
does
then the
that? Where
camera,
does the other end of that tube go,
yeah, and then
Matt?
it cuts to a a tied up Vic
Uh
who
huh.
is on a table with a gag in his mouth and a sort of one of those sort of medical tents over his nether regions. So yes, we know exactly what's going on. He's being pumped for his vitality.
Yes, he's got everything he wanted, but nothing he wanted.
Yeah,
Careful what you wish for. Be very specific.
exactly. And then it basically cuts to the sort of outside of this room, and there is just this row
Sea of
of
brides.
brides all waiting to sort of get their juice, as it were.
Yeah. So of course, Aquila herself, dressed as a bride,
Mhm.
is going in as well. She enters to she enters to get married, as it were.
Yeah,
I love the shot Vic gives her as soon as she walks in. He's
yeah. His
just like,
eyes is like that's what the expression "giving you daggers" is was made
yes,
for.
yeah, yeah.
And
Um,
it also basically sets up that as well as obviously being scientists and that they're still obviously have a big
a
religious
religious base of some
base
kind. Yeah.
because these women have to be married. They
Uh huh.
can't just accept, they can't just make him pregnant. They have to be married to him first.
Although yeah, I'm not sure how much of that is religion and how much of that is their dedication to 50s
I,
society.
well, exactly. It's obviously a twisted version of it,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's kind of what they see is right.
Mm, yeah. So Quilla is about to get married when she knocks out the quote
Yeah.
unquote
But
priest.
there seems to be some sort of, she comes in and she says, "Oh yeah, I'm here." That, and the guy's like, "Something's not right here. This doesn't seem, I
Mm,
don't think it's your time yet. You should
you're
you
not
should
on the
be doing."
list. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like you said, she basically knocks them out and begins to free Vic.
Yeah. Who is disgusted.
Yeah,
He's like, oh my god, they they bring me down here and hook me up to this machine. That's real smart. And it's like, well, she's just like his population control Vic. This is what
yeah,
it is. Um, but in any case, she seemingly knocked these people out with a bouquet of flowers.
yeah,
But Vic soon discovers it just had a rusty metal crowbar in it.
yeah,
And so again, we see, Vic's brashness.
yeah,
As she's explaining her plans to overthrow the committee, and so
yeah,
that they can get what they want anytime they want, including Vic. And Vic's seemingly going along with it, kind of. Well, he's
yeah.
not. He's not disagreeing. I don't think he's really listening.
No, no, I don't think he's really listening either.
Um, he's just like, "Where are my guns?" Which she's like, "Oh, good, you're going along with the plan." And it's like, "No, I think he just wants his guns. Like, I don't think that necessarily means he's going to take out the committee for you." Um,
For her point, she thinks she's got someone she can control. She thinks,
oh yeah, she thinks he followed me down here. He's still in love with
yeah,
me. Yeah. So, uh, of course, Vic being Vic, and now he doesn't even have blood to listen to.
yeah,
What's the plan to get out of this room with all of those people outside? Just run out and bludgeon them with the crowbar.
yeah. Just run out swinging
Yeah.
is his plan, and that's exactly it works. He gets out.
Yeah, I mean, when they get outside, he almost crowbars the people that are trying to help him.
Yeah,
It's just in this mad frenzy.
yeah.
Um,
So her people, as it were,
yes.
basically block the door,
Mm-hmm.
and they run to the where their Vic's stuff is stored,
Yes.
and they
Yeah. He
find
gets his
the pack.
retrieves his guns and his pack.
Yeah,
Um, and
and she's constantly saying, "Oh, we're going to make it better here, and you're going to help me, and you've got to kill them. You must kill them. You've got to kill them. Make sure that you kill them, and all that sort of stuff." And again, doesn't really seem like he's listening. He just wants to get the fuck out of here.
well, and it does finally get to a point where she's like, "Where are you going?" And he's like, "I'm leaving. Fuck this. Like,
Yeah,
like fuck all of you." And she's like, "How dare you? Like, I brought you down here to do this. Like, this was my plan. Like, you can't do this to me."
yeah,
And he ends up hitting her, doesn't he? Like, hits her and
hmm
and
yeah,
points a gun at her. But then, of course, we see um, Michael walking around, and
yeah.
the committee are about to meet, aren't they, in this location?
Yeah,
So
it's basically they set some chairs get set up, and there's going to be some sort of it's like a town meeting, isn't it? Almost.
yeah, yeah, and so Vic's kind of watching this, trying not to get spotted. The whole time she's just like, "Did our love not mean anything to you, Vic? Like,
Yeah,
help me with this one thing. They're right. They're gonna be right there. You're in the right place."
yeah. Well, shoot them, shoot them. She's like,
Yeah, yeah. And
and
this is the awkward bit, as I said earlier, where it's like,
yeah,
how does nobody see these fucking people?
it's the Frank Drebin hide behind the dustbin.
Yes, it really is. Because there's a bit as well, because of the way the scene's lit. There's a bit where you can see the people's shadows,
Yeah,
and their shadows even cross over the two of them, where it's like they're so close and they're so obviously in the line of sight.
yeah,
Um, but whatever, it's fine. It kind of adds to the funniness,
yeah,
in some ways. So the committee are meeting, and it's a brutal one. There's a lot of people going to the farm today.
yeah,
It's mostly people going to the farm. So
yeah.
basically all of the conspirators, including Quilla,
All
um,
of yeah, they've
all
all
going to the
set
farm.
this one. And like one of the kids sort of comes up and like falls to his on his knees, like he's like, "Oh no, please don't kill me," sort of thing.
Mm.
And they're like, "Yeah, okay, farm." and that,
Immediate farm. Yes.
yeah, and it's basically, and this is where
This is why I
this
kept
is
calling him the farmer, because
yeah, well that yes,
he
he is
basically
dressed like a
just
farmer.
squeezes this guy's head until it
Pops
breaks.
basically, yeah, he
Yeah.
just squishes him, and it almost feels like um at this point the they've gone. Oh fuck it, we don't care who knows that this is why it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, the fucking mask is off now. Like,
Yeah, just fucking kill them.
yeah.
Don't even drag them off. Just murder
I
them now,
I
sort of
guess
thing.
I guess at this point they've now been made aware of this conspiracy, and they're
Yeah,
like, we need to show everyone there is
mhm,
no taking us down. There are penalties, and they will be paid for now.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, you're right. It's just like an immediate immediate to the farm. Um, and yeah, so the conspirators start getting offed one by one by Mike, and Quinn has changed her mind now. She wants to leave.
yeah, yeah,
She's like,
yeah.
maybe I
Funny
should
that
leave.
when they told you go into the farm and they're, they're not Vic's not killing them, so
Yeah. So Mike gives the pistol to Quilla,
mm,
and starts shooting Mike as Mike starts approaching. Mike obviously knows where she is, regardless.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
it's quite menacing with that smile of Mike's as these
yeah,
bullets just ping off of him, and
mhm,
he
yeah,
just keeps coming forward and forward. I love that as this is happening, there's this gunfight going on. There's
yep,
this Mike's walking into gunfire, just getting shot with no effect, walking with
yep,
this evil smile towards Quilla and Vic. Meanwhile, the committee members a few meters away are just calmly having their meeting.
yep.
Like, they're not even looking over in that direction.
And also, again. I think if I remember rightly, the tannoys giving out
Food recipes and stuff.
recipes for I don't know, hamburgers or something. You
Yeah,
just hear
yeah.
chop up the parsley and make sure you grind the beef
You
and all that sort of
serve
stuff.
with poached eggs and
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, but they keep walking, trying to stop Vic. Trying to stop Vic, trying to stop Michael. At one point, he does get a shot in the kneecap, which
Yeah,
finally takes Michael down.
yeah,
And another shot to the back reveals that Michael was a robot. He
yeah.
bursts
You all
into
the
sparks,
parts
and
and yeah.
yeah,
And I I love again the committee. They're like he's again they're just going over the plans. They don't. Then I love the way Jason Robards just shows no sort of interest in what's going on.
nothing.
He's just doing these plans. He's making these things, and I love the way he just says, "Oh, when get another Michael out of storage." He says, "And
Yeah,
make and this time make sure they wipe off that stupid grin."
yeah, yeah. So Quilla, of course, led Vic to the actual exit because it was in her best interest. And they get to the surface. They run out. Vic immediately dives on the ground, pointing his gun at the door. He starts trying to call for blood. Um, and he complains to Quilla, like, you left me down there too long. He's gone over the hill. He's left me, and
Yeah.
you can tell Vic's he's quite upset.
And she says, "Well, why don't we both go over the hill? Why don't we can do that? We can both do that." And Vic's like, "I don't know where it is.
Yeah,
You never
he's like,
told,
you think I know a fucking thing? You are wrong.
you never told me where it is. I don't know."
Yeah, your entire plan was predicated on the fact that I'm dumb as fuck. Do you really think I know where this fucking over the hill place is?
To nobody's surprise, I actually am dumb.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but Blood reaches out, and he does weekly call
Very
to,
feet.
to Vic. Vic finds Blood, who is now kind of collapsed on the floor. He's not eaten. He's starving to death. He's already been injured and bloodied from this dog attack before.
Yeah,
I love that his the first thing Blood says to him is like, "Who's your tailor?" Because
yeah,
he's wearing
yes. He's
the
wearing the
suit.
pajamas.
Yeah.
He's got the pajamas. He's got nothing on his feet as well.
Um, and yeah, it's. I mean, it lulls you into a false sense of security with this sad moment where you think we're going to lose Blood. He's they're talking about over the hill, but he doesn't think he's going to be able to make it. He's like, well, Blood's like, you might be able to make it. I'm too weak now. There's no
Yeah,
way. And Vic kind of almost pleads to Quilla. He's like, well, he needs food and he needs medicine.
yeah,
And she, of course, is just like, oh, we're too late, darling. There's
yeah. He's
nothing we
gone.
can do about him now. He's dead.
Yeah,
He's as good as dead.
yeah,
But Vic, stupid as he is, has a plan.
yeah.
So this is such a fucking bleak but hilarious ending.
Yeah,
Like oh man, like if you were disgusted by the end of this film, I understand. But when
yeah.
I first saw the ending of this movie, I laughed so much, out of shock as much as anything.
Yeah,
But fuck me, it was funny the first time I saw this.
yep.
So she basically says, "Look, I'm going, and if you love me, you'll come too."
Yeah,
And then it kind of fades to black. Open on barbecue.
yeah.
Um,
Put on spit.
open on spit. Blood is saying to Vic, "Oh, you haven't eaten a bite," and Vic's like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, I'm not really hungry,
I'm really hungry.
to be honest." Um, and Blood's like, "Oh, I really appreciate this, Vic," and they're gonna head off to the hospital after a hearty meal.
Yeah,
Um, and of course, in the background, I'm not sure, but I think in the background it may just be paper, but I assumed it was bits of dress and fuck knows what just thrown back there.
yeah,
Um, and he's feeling much better now. He's had a meal,
Yeah.
and yeah,
And he
she
says you might need to cook the rest of that later on.
and as they're walking away, he's like, she said she loved me.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So he didn't. Blood ate Quilla, basically.
yeah. And the last line is, she she had marvelous judgment, but not particularly good taste,
Yeah.
and that's how it ends with them
That
going
that
on.
is a boy and his dog.
Yeah,
Not the weirdest film we've reviewed, but
no,
I think Sardal's probably still up there on that one.
Zardos with Tetsuo.
And Tetsuo, yeah, of course, I forgot we did Tetsuo. But yeah, a boy and his dog, not a film for everyone.
No,
But I love this
I mean,
movie. It's a funny,
the
black comedy.
funny thing about this movie is it seems to have gone in and out of fashion. So
Right.
when it came out, it was accused of misogyny, and
It is misogynistic.
there's no bones about it. It's very misogynistic, but it's also a story of this is how probably it would happen if something like this happened. Baser instincts would come out. You know,
And it's also a story on all sides. Quilla, Vic, the committee, Blood.
yeah,
It's a story of you being a product of your upbringing and your environment.
yeah,
From all
and what,
sides.
and what you do and what you would do to survive.
Yeah. Even Quilla, as much as she would hate to admit it, is the exact same as her father, who she hates and wants to overthrow.
Yeah,
They're the
hmm
same.
yeah,
You know.
absolutely.
Um.
And then basically, so that happened, and then basically in the '80s, it was like, oh no, this is ahead of its time, and it's like it's not misogynistic and that. And then in the '90s, it became misogynistic again, and and then in the 2000s, it sort of didn't, and now it's gone back to being a misogynistic movie. So I do like the way attitudes have changed about this movie.
mm.
It's quite funny, but I think overall, it's just a really enjoyable dark comedy.
It's a funny dark comedy, and if you're willing to go with the humor,
Hmm.
because obviously it goes without saying, many of the things that happen in this movie would be disgusting if they happened for real.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously.
Yeah.
That's very much what dark comedy is, though, isn't it?
Hmm.
It's very much
Yeah,
that.
it's
So
sort of gallows humor and the
yeah,
sort of the idea of you know meeting your death or not. It's that
yeah, and
how you do.
I think this movie is I think it's well directed. I think it's pretty well acted from everyone
Yeah,
involved. Um,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I
I
and
mean,
I think it
this is John Johnson's sort of like kind of his first movie, and
mm,
he's really good in it.
yeah,
I like him a lot, and I mean, obviously, the dog's trained really
amazing.
well.
Yeah, yeah.
He's great. Tim McIntyre's voice for him is just brilliant.
Oh,
It's
it's
just so
wonderful.
funny, and he how, how sort of everything he says has got a little sting to it, and because clearly Blood's clever as fuck, and everybody
Yeah.
else is, but he really it's that sort of I know everything, you don't, you're an idiot sort of
Hmm.
thing. But it's so funny. It's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a really funny movie. I think it's also a really good social commentary. Um,
Hmm.
I and regardless of what you feel at the movie, it is like, I don't know, fucking 80% of Fallout and popular post-apocalyptic fiction
Yeah,
visuals. I mean, this movie did a lot to inspire anything that came after it.
yeah. Mad Max. Oh, fuck's sake, what's his name? The guy who made Mad Max.
George Miller.
George Miller. George Miller said, particularly the second movie.
Well, the first movie is a very different movie.
Yeah, but the second movie, he said, is
Oh yeah.
completely um, influenced by
Oh
by
yeah.
this film.
100%. Mad Max 2 is like this movie if it were serious. and not
Yeah,
a comedy,
uh,
But yeah,
yeah, but
Mad
even
Max 2, which kind of furthered the genre, was inspired by this heavily.
even that has as I mean, because it's probably because it's Australian, it has a dark
Oh yeah.
streak of humor going through it as well.
I mean, so
It's
did the first, to be fair, as
yeah,
we've reviewed.
hmm
We
yeah.
should do Mad Max 2 someday.
Oh yeah, we will.
Um,
It's completely honest. I'm not sure whether we'll ever make it to three, but
who runs Bartertown? Well, I don't
I,
know. There's half
I
a good movie in there.
yeah, there is a lot to love in that movie, but there's also
Nothing to do with the kids.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
as long as you ignore all the bits with the kids. Oh, what the fuck is the name of the captain?
He's just called the Gyro Captain, isn't he?
No, 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 no. The fucking dead pilot that the kids go on and on and on
Oh,
about for half the fucking movie because they think that he's the reincarnation or the return of that
yeah,
captain, right?
yeah. I can't
Oh
remember.
god, it drives me crazy. But
I
all of the
feel like
stuff in Bartertown
mhm,
and the Thunderdome,
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah.
And
That's
it
great.
has the longest mullet in history. But
Yeah,
anyway, A Boy and His Dog, highly
I watched.
recommend it.
Yeah, I did, and I know I was way too young when I first movie. I was like,
Oh yeah.
I was really confused when I first watched it. I was really confused why the dog gets left upstairs, and I didn't. I hated that you get Vic on his own and you don't get the dogs. And then I really hated the fact that the bad guys don't get their comeuppance. I hated that when I was
Mm.
a kid. Like, he's got to kill them, surely. Why isn't he killing them? And obviously, a couple of years later, when you watch it again, you're like, oh no, this is just fucking perfect.
Yeah. And they're
This is
all
just
bad
what life
guys.
is. Yeah, they're all horrible. It doesn't matter, And you sort of you I know I've seen some reviews that say, oh, when it gets to the underground, it's slow and it's boring, and you
Oh
don't.
no, I don't think it is. When you get to
I
the
think
underground, there's only
it's
like half an hour left of the movie. It's really
yeah,
pacey.
I think it's perfect because it just shows even with a sort of a civilization that has a civilization, if you like, it's fucking almost worse and it's terrible and
Yeah, that's why I said
you know,
it's like you see the worst of humanity on the surface and the worst of humanity underground. There's no difference.
yeah,
They're in very different directions, but
mhm,
they're both awful.
yeah, and it's just it is a well, I guess you, humor varies, but
Yeah, of
I
course.
it's a very very funny movie.
It made me laugh a few times rewatching it even now. So,
Yeah,
you know. Great movie if you're in the mood for that kind of thing.
yeah.
In any case, we will be back next week with new movies. Find some things to watch. But until then, stay safe, take care, and we will catch you next time.